Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I kind of wanted to do a mid-year check-in of sorts because although we are now in August and almost in September, which is crazy to say, I still wanted to reflect on my year so far in terms of goals, what I've got up to, some of my favourite books, just a kind of all-round life reflection in the first kind of 6 to 7 months of 2022. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of reflect upon is the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. I do have a whole video where I talk about the goals that I set for 2022, which I'll link above and down below. I just wanted to reflect on these, see where I'm at, if I've completed any of them, if I'm in the middle of any of them and I want to continue kind of pushing towards those goals, or whether they're just no longer aligned with who I am now in August 2022 compared to a January 2022 version of myself. So let's get going. Back in January 2022, I was reading 8, 10 books, 12 books a month. I was flying through those books. I was a booktuber and I was loving life as a booktuber, and I still love creating book content. But that was kind of my sole purpose outside of my normal life that I didn't show on YouTube was books. And being a booktube content creator, enabled to create that content, you had to read books. Therefore, every single free second I have, that was lunch break at work, 20 minutes before leaving for work in the morning. And then as soon as I finished dinner, all I did was read for the rest of the evening to ensure that I had content for my monthly wrap-ups, for my TBR videos, for reading vlogs that I was doing, to make sure I just constantly had content. And that is not me anymore. I still love books, I still love reading. I hit a major slump and I kind of refocused my life into just kind of prioritizing myself and kind of distancing myself away from this reader that I've become, and only a reader. I had no other kind of personality traits. I was solely focused on reading and creating content for books, and therefore just constantly reading. And I felt like I was just churning and churning and churning. And once I hit my slump, I kind of took a step back and I realised that reading isn't my entire personality, and it doesn't need to be my entire personality, and I can still create YouTube content without having the sole focus on being books. However, I did create a whole list of book goals because that was what my target audience was book goals. You need to create book goals in order to create book content at the beginning of the year. So our book goals are as follows: a less structured and reading year. I set that at the beginning of the year and I have definitely kind of completed it because yes, I hit a slump, so all structure's gone out the window, and also I've been able to really re-evaluate myself as a reader. This goal wasn't set out for what the purpose has actually become, but I'm very glad that those two have kind of like merged together and created this new kind of lease of life with me, and to enable me to create more content, not just books, and kind of have a less structured reading year, which I am definitely doing, seeing as it's August 15th and I have only read one book this month. A booktuber who? My second one was to read 50 books in the year. And this is a goal that I set every single year. I've said it since 2014. I've set 50 books a year. And most of the time I have gone above and beyond, whether that's 80 books, 100 books like I did in 2020 because of lockdown, or in 2019 when I hit a slump because I was finishing uni and I was going off to do my Disney College program and I only read 26. That goal of mine was still to read 50 because it's pretty much one book a week. And I like having that kind of goal in mind to be like, right, if I read one book a week, that is great. I still read 50 books across the year, 52 to be exact. Even though I hit a massive slump, I am still on track with that reading goal. Shocker, I know. I think I'm just about one book ahead of schedule. I think I've read like 27 books so far this year because at the beginning of the year I was still solely a reader, and that's all I did with my time was read all these books. So I was like churning out the content at the beginning of the year, and then also hit my slump in April, and that's when things start to change. And only then have I taken a slower pace of reading. But I think I still have a possible chance of achieving it if I can just get out of this slump and kind of get my arse in gear and at least try and read one book a week rather than one book every 2.5, 3 weeks. My next reading goal was to use the library more, and that is because recently my local library had a massive rehaul and it became a lifestyle centre. So I said to myself I wanted to use the library more often, and that I have definitely done. I've gone in there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe times, and although I may have not have read the books I checked out, I still went in with the purpose of reading those books. It was just the dreaded slump that kind of made me not read those books. But the reason I kind of set this goal is because me and my boyfriend are planning to move out by hopefully the end of the year, early next year, and every single penny that I spent on books last year, which was 500 quid in total, I wanted to try and save as much as I can. If I could get them out of the library, I would do, and I've definitely done that. So the next kind of collection of goals are more lifestyle and content creation, and the first one is to work on my Instagram presence. I can't really say I've prioritized this goal. I still love posting on Instagram, but I definitely haven't prioritized it. And to be honest, that is fine. It's something I definitely want to work towards, but I want to make it a bit more flexible that still has structure. I know that sounds so bizarre, but saying something like I want to make sure that I post 1 reel a month and make sure that my stories are updated 3 times a week and I post once a week on my feed. Something like that, something that's more trackable, and that's definitely something I can work towards near the latter half of the year, and I'm not too worried about not having completed this goal just yet. My next goal was to explore the idea of a blog and website, and as you can tell, it's another goal that I can't really track. However, I have recently kind of rediscovered this love of this goal, and I only rediscover it every so often when I rediscover the blog that I used to have back in the day, and I read my old posts and I'm like, not to blow my own trumpet, but I'm not too bad at writing, and I do really enjoy writing out my thoughts and feelings and sharing more of a story on that sort of platform, and I'd love to bring it back in kind of a newsletter blog sort of way. I think a blog is a safer, easier route to go down first, because you don't have to pay for anything, whereas if you went down a newsletter straight away, you'd have to pay for a kind of platform website, and then you'd have to pay for the additional charges of being able to send out a mailing list and all that sort of stuff. I've looked into it a little bit. It's definitely something I still want to explore, but I think a blog, until I realise or know if it's popular enough to pursue, a blog is a safer free option for now. Hopefully I can figure something out the latter half of the year, but I'd really like to both focus on it. And this is something that I could then break down into my monthly goals. So my monthly resets, I could be like, maybe I'll write a blog post a week just to kind of get my groove back with writing, and then maybe in an October reset I can be like, right, I want to publish my first blog post. And so breaking down that goal rather than just having a broad goal of explore an idea of a blog and website, those monthly reset videos and those monthly goals can help me achieve that in a smaller, minute step, rather than just this one big horizon sort of goal. My next goal was to branch more into lifestyle content, and that, guys, I can definitely tick off the list because I have definitely been doing that, and that's kind of where I reformed and rebirthed my YouTube channel when I came back from my unplanned hiatus. Hiatus all kind of flows into one idea that I'm not reading as much as I used to, therefore I can't create book content as much as I used to. And I do love lifestyle content. I watch probably more lifestyle content on YouTube than I do book content, and it's just where my passion is at. Like, I just like vlogging my daily life and rambling to a camera. I don't know why, but I do. And if that is in the form of lifestyle content or book content, I think I'd rather lifestyle content, and it just gives me more freedom to create more videos that are unplanned and just kind of more free-rolling, freewheeling, and just kind of more fluid, rather than having to plan that video, sit down and film that video, or read books for that video and then sit down and film the video. It's just a lot more fluid. My next one is to get back into scrapbooking and bullet journaling, and I can definitely say I have, because I haven't missed a single day in my 1 line a day 5-year journal, which I repurchased this year to start afresh. So my first year is 2022, so I'm so glad I haven't missed a day yet in this. And I have also massively been keeping track of my actual big ass scrapbook journal, which I will flip to right now, no pun intended. And now we are going on to 2022. So one of the first major things I did in 2022 on the 2nd of January was to see pantomime. We do this quite often with my family. We go into London and see the one at the London Palladium. This past year it was Pantoland. We went for brunch, bottomless brunch shall I say, hence the blurry picture, at the Hard Rock Cafe in London prior to going, and the Christmas decorations were still up, so we got a picture by the Christmas tree. This was in my burger, so I took the little flag from my burger, and this is actually, this 2 parts are from the water bottle that I got at the theatre, so I took that as well. I then went to the Harry Potter studio tour in London with my boyfriend and did a little bit of scrapbooking of that. It was then Mark's birthday, and I treated him to an entire day out in London. We went to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in London because we love watching his programmes together, and I took him to see Back to the Future the musical, which was epic. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend. And so this was the ice cream lid from the theatre. This bit here is actually a grease-proof bit of paper that came underneath my fries at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, and I just printed this off because I printed off the tickets for Mark so he could open them at the restaurant. I didn't tell him until after we'd finished at the restaurant that we were going to see Back to the Future, so I still had that, so I just kind of cut that up and put that in as well. We then come on to my first trip to the library of the year in January, and I got 2 books there, The Vanishing Half and Leave the World Behind. I have still not read either of them, but I did enjoy going to the library. And then my dad got COVID, and I had a little text chat with my mum going, make sure you stay in your room and wear a mask when you leave your room and all that sort of stuff because I'm high risk. So I put Operation COVID in progress, and I was testing at the time as well to make sure I continued to stay negative. It was then my dad's 60th birthday on the 2nd of February, so we went to one of our favourite local restaurants, and I just took this wrapping paper that we wrapped my dad's presents in, and this little lace bit was from one of the cupcakes that he got given at the restaurant we went to. So lots of little bits and pieces I pick up and I end up making spreads with, which I really like how they turned out. And then everything always happens really close together. On the 3rd of February, it was mine and Mark's 4-year anniversary. We went to the same restaurant because it's one of our favourite restaurants local to us, and we went on a nice walk and just enjoyed the day, had bagels in the morning and just spent the day together. It was just really nice. And then in March, I hit 2K subscribers on YouTube, which is still a crazy milestone, seeing as I haven't really got back into the swing of YouTube and reading yet, but I still appreciate every single one of you for subscribing. And then it was time for Sister Date, and me and my sister try and do sister dates every so often, just to spend time, just us two, doing fun things without the parents, without the boyfriends, just spending quality time, just the 2 of us. And this time we went to Electric Game Box, and I actually vlogged it all, and it was such a fun day, so if you want to see that vlog, then I'll link it up above. But this is a receipt from the pancake place we went to prior to sweating our asses off playing in a virtual reality game, and it was just so much fun. I kind of fell off my scrapbooking journaling in kind of March, so therefore instead of going back and not really 100% putting in effort for all the things I did, I just kind of did a mini like Polaroid-esque spread of like the highlights of March. So we went to go see Mary Poppins. I stopped at one of my favourite fudge stops and got some fudge. I finally got my tracksuit set that I've been waiting a month on, and this is the label from that tracksuit set. I finally went to see the spin bike in person that I have. They opened a pop-up studio for a couple of months, and I really wanted to make it in time, and I think I did. I'm glad I managed to get there, and that's my sister being stupid next to me while I'm on the bike. My mum actually cut her finger open playing bowling, and I took a picture, and it's just a highlight, a funny moment in my family's kind of memory book. And I just took a picture of one of the spring trees outside of my house, and it was a pretty picture. So those were like my March moments per se. Once again, not all scrapbooks are perfect. I do kind of sticky note what I want to feature on each page, and I never got around to making a page for the magic opera from round 2, but at least I know that that was my intention, and it happened in April. And the other thing I did in April is I went to afternoon tea with my mum and my sister, so I just did a little spread for that. The back is actually the menu, and that is the logo of the place we went, and I just took some pictures and I made some craft little bunting around as well. And once again, I really enjoyed how my March recap kind of panned out, so I did an April recap, just a little bit different, and not so much happened in April, so I just did 1 page. I finished an 1,000-piece puzzle with Mark in less than 24 hours. I went to Wagamama's to catch up with one of my friends, and me and Mark started doing our like weekend walks again because the weather was picking up. And then in May, it was my grandma's 85th birthday, so we spent it as an entire family in the Cotswolds, and it was absolutely lovely. So I did a few scrapbook pages for that. The weather was so nice, it actually felt like we were on holiday, like we were in shorts and t-shirts, and it was just absolutely lovely. We then, not only do we do sister dates, we do double dates with both of our boyfriends, and at this time we decided to have brunch at the Riding House Cafe in London and then go do some mini crazy golf, and it was a lot of fun. So I kept the scorecard from that and stuck that in. I really like how this page came out, even though it's only 1 page. And then I went to go see Frozen on the West End front row, and it was absolutely incredible. I absolutely loved it. So I didn't have a ticket or anything because all these days, all the tickets are e-tickets and whatnot, and I didn't really have any pictures from that night, but I wanted to remember the time I went to go see Frozen front row. So I drew this all out, taken from the promo posters from the actual Frozen website. And then we come up to bowling again. Me and my family tend to, we've done a lot of bowling this year, and we went to my dad's new restaurant that he managed to get a job at this year after losing his job during COVID in 2020. He finally got on his feet again and found a job, and so we all went to celebrate at that restaurant, and then we did bowling afterwards as a party of 6 with my boyfriend, my sister's boyfriend, and then my parents. And then, guys, it was time for Disneyland Paris. That day has finally arrived after having it booked for so long. I finally made it to Disneyland Paris for my 25th birthday, so I did a little intro page because it had to have its own page. This was our check-in day. This is from the map we got given from the receptionist when we checked in. This is actually from a tissue box I took from the hotel itself, and this was the room number we were in, and I just wrote a little bit about it. The first picture we took together outside by the 30th decorations and the little room block that we were in as well. This is the same day, but in the evening we stayed for the fireworks. I got a bottle of water and it had the 30th logo branding on, so I peeled off that and kept it. I also kept a bit of the map and just a couple of pictures and a bit about the day. And then we kind of got into a little tradition over the 4 days of getting breakfast at McDonald's. So I took one of the receipts. We always got Lipton Earl Grey tea included. We didn't love it, but I had a little bit each day, so I decided to keep the little wrapper. And this is what we tended to get. It was cheap, it was affordable, it was quick, it was a good way to fuel us up. And this was the second day when I kind of Disney bounded as a piglet and went to meet Winnie the Pooh himself. And because I have a chronic illness, I get disability access, so it's kind of basically like free fast passes. So I kept the little card that we had to get signed and dated every time we wanted a free pass, and which ride it was, what time we arrived, what time we can return, and the cast member who gave us access. And this was a little card that went with it, so I thought I'd keep that. And then, guys, it's my birthday. This is my birthday spread for my first ever birthday celebration in a Disney park. It was Disneyland Paris. I did some little Mickey balloons, I drew those, took some pictures. This was a little fries box I cut out. This was the restaurant we went to celebrate my birthday in, which is the Manhattan in the Art of Marvel Hotel. And then we also did the Marvel photo ops as well inside that hotel that day, and it was just one of the best days. On the back of our Disneyland Paris trip, this was the last day of Disney, and it was also the day that we travelled down to the south of France to see Mark's family. So that is what we did. And unfortunately, I did get heat stroke and food poisoning for the latter half of the holiday, so I wasn't feeling 100%, but we still managed to do some sights. So we went to Ez once we got down to Nice, and we also went to Paloma Beach, which was a very fancy private beach club where we got comfy sand lounges and just had a beautiful views of the sea all day, and we just relaxed. I spent 16 euros on a pineapple fruit platter, but it was 100% worth it. And we also had dinner out looking at the ocean as well, and that's a little receipt from that. And then I got back, I was better for a week, luckily, and I managed to make it to Yauk, meet Benjamin Dean, meet Dean Atta, meet all of my favourite BookTube friends, and I just did a little spread for that. And then for the last spread, currently until we're into the latter half of the year, COVID striked me. I finally got COVID myself. Luckily it wasn't too bad, but that's just a little of how I was feeling, what my symptoms were, and my little first test. As you can see, it was very, very dark, and I can't wait to fill up the rest of the spreads in the latter half of the year. I am such a keeper of memories, and being able to say that I've got back into journaling and I found my passion with it again, yes, I'm happy. And my last goal I kind of set myself was to invest back into Rachel Cerys. At the time, it was kind of more in the direction of getting Skillshare, learning how to color correct my videos properly, kind of knowing what SEO is so I could start a newsletter, start some sort of blog, mailing list sort of thing, and get a subscription for a music platform so I could always have copyright-free music. I have yet to do that. I would still love to invest in myself as a brand, but I just don't think the time is right now. Like I've said before, me and my boyfriend are trying to move out, buy our first home together. We are first-time buyers, so we are really like saving every single penny towards knowing that we have enough for our first home together. So I really can't right now invest in my brand as much as I want to. So investing right now just means being consistent with creating content, being consistent with Instagram, and investing my time rather than money. So I could say that I'm trying to achieve this goal still, but it's not the goal. that I originally intended it to be. Like, it's kind of switched a little bit, so it's no longer investing my money, it's investing my time, which I'm still focused on. Having had my hiatus, having had my break, I'm ready to jump back into it. And because my boyfriend and I are moving out, I'm gonna vlog the whole moving out process and be one of those vloggers, and I'm very, very excited for it. So moving away from goals now, it's time to reflect on my best moments of the year, and you may have guessed already some of them from my scrapbook flip through portion of this video, but I wanted to sit down and kind of just tell you guys some of the best moments I've had so far in 2022. If you couldn't guess from my scrapbook, I would say my number one moment of the year was definitely celebrating my birthday in Disneyland Paris. I was turning 25. Me and Mark booked it at the end of last year, and I couldn't wait to celebrate my birthday in Disneyland Paris, and it was everything I expected and more. It was so magical. It was so amazing to finally tick off a lifetime bucket list thing. To celebrate a birthday in Disney has always been something that I've wanted to do since a child, and to be able to do it, celebrate it with Mark, and just have the most magical day was superb. It was definitely one of my highlights, probably the biggest highlight of my year so far. Who knows what the year has in store for me in the latter half, but yeah, that was definitely an incredible day, and just an incredible holiday overall. My second best moment was actually my dad finally landing a job, having been made sort of redundant. The company he worked at was put into liquidation in COVID, so in 2020, and he's been struggling to find somewhere where he could release his passion again in cooking and being a chef for the last 2 years. So the fact that he was able to find a job that he enjoys this year really kind of lessened the stress on myself and my family. I'm such a worrier for other people. I'm very empathetic, so I was really stressed and worried for my dad. But he found somewhere, and yeah, that's definitely been a highlight of my year so far as well. The next highlight I have is, of course, celebrating 4 years with Mark. I can't believe I've been with him for 4.5 years now, but my life has never been better. He brings so much sunshine and brightness and just positivity into my life. He supports me whatever endeavour I want to do, whether it's YouTube, whether it's going to Disney for my birthday, whether it's not seeing him on a weekend because I want to go see my other guy, Aston Marigold, in Footloose. Whatever, like, he is so patient, he is so loyal, he is so loving, he's just the most amazing person, and I'm so glad that I can call him mine. And my final kind of biggest achievement so far this year is I actually reached 2K on YouTube, and I feel like I didn't really celebrate it enough. I think I reached it in March, and it's a massive achievement, and I really should have celebrated it more, but March was when I kind of hit my slump, and when I really started just going downhill in the content creation and the reading life and just the whole hiatus. So I didn't really celebrate it much, but I did reach it. And I do feel very proud of my fact that I've have 2K people here. Whether they still all watch because of my hiatus, I don't know. But I have my kind of people that always watch me no matter what I do, and I appreciate you all to no end. You know who you are. I'm just so happy that in 2020 I decided to start this channel because it's really allowed me to explore who I am. In 2020, lockdown, not being able to see my boyfriend because we live apart, really kind of allowed me to grow as a person and kind of develop some other passions besides kind of just working and spinning, because that's all I did in 2019. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that year. Although it was really hard and it was really tough and it was horrible for a lot of people, it kind of shaped me into who I am today. To be able to get to 2K with this little endeavour I started in 2020 because of lockdown, it's quite a cool accomplishment. And now on to the things I'm looking forward most to for the latter half of the year. And I couldn't start this list without any other event that's happening in my life in the latter half of the year, is going back to Walt Disney World. I'm so excited. Like, you guys, you know I love Disney. If you've been following me for a while, you know my love of Disney. It's pretty much the only thing you can see in this background right now is Disney and books. And I haven't been back to Disney since I worked there as a cast member, so to be able to go back and to go at the most magical time of year, which is Christmas / New Year, I'm just so excited, and I'm so grateful to my family to be coming with me, because I always said, even if you guys can't make it because obviously my dad was out of a job, I will be going by myself. But the fact now that my mum, my dad and my sister are all coming with me, it's going to be our last kind of big hurrah as a family of 4 before I'm moving out and kind of starting my own life, and then we'll probably have kids, and then it'll be like a grandparents and me and Mark and kid sort of family holiday rather than like the original family of 4 holiday. It's making me emotional because that's like where the Disney passion and Disney dream and the Disney love kind of started, from my parents, and them taking me and my sister when I was 3 when they first took me to Walt Disney World. So it's been a long time coming, and to celebrate the 50th with my family that we all love Disney so much, I am so excited. That is definitely my #1 top most looking forward to moment of 2022. The next event that I'm really looking forward to, and involves another one of my massive passions in life, is seeing/meeting Aston Marigold. Yeah. You guys know that my main 2 passions in life are probably Disney and JLS. Yes. Aston does sometimes go on solo moments of his life, and he's going on a solo tour at the end of October, which I managed to get VIP meet and greet tickets for, so I'll be meeting him in October. But I'm also going to be meeting him the day before you see this video. I would have met him by the time you guys watch this video. I'm going to see him in a short run of Footloose, and he is playing Willard, and of course I'll be by the backstage meeting him ready, and I'm so excited. So the fact that I'm going to be meeting him twice and going to one of the concerts is definitely a highlight for the latter half of 2022. The next thing I'm of course excited for, and / a little bit worried, but is moving out of Mark. I am so excited to do my own food shopping and to decorate the space like it's myself, and not just live in the 4 walls of my bedroom. And I'm ready to have like a living room and a kitchen and a dining room and a bathroom that's like all mine and Mark's, and just like be able to do whatever we want with our free time. I am so excited, but also like very worried. Maybe I'll do like a what I'm looking forward to and what I'm worried about, vice versa video, because I think that'd be like quite interesting to look back on, because it is so exciting. It's such an exciting process to like look at houses and go to viewings and kind of get the whole bowl in like motion, but like there's a lot of things to worry about as well, and I'm a worrier and an overthinker, so I definitely have some worries as well. But I'm 90% very excited to move out of Mark. I'm so excited, and it could be this year. Who knows? It's exciting nevertheless. And the last thing that I'm really looking forward to in the latter half of 2022 is seeing one of my favourite country artists with one of my best friends. I think this best friend, Amy, got me into country artists and country music a good while ago now, and we both love an artist called Brett Young, and he's coming to the UK for a little stint, and we're seeing him together, and I'm so excited. It's gonna be so amazing, and I'm so excited to spend that day with her, because I think it's on a Sunday. Go into London, get some food, chill out, catch up, and then go see one of our favourite country artists together in the evening. I can't wait. That's all the way in the end of November though, so I have a little while to wait, but I'm excited as well for that. It's gonna be amazing, and I love listening to country music live. Any music live, to be fair. So the fact that I'm going to 2 concerts at the end of this year, I'm very excited for. And the last thing I wanted to discuss in this video today is my favourite things so far this year. 2 of them are books. Surprise, and there's a couple of miscellaneous objects in there as well. I'll quickly run you through my 2 favourite books so far this year. I have rated about 4-5 stars over the course of my 27-28 books I've read, but 2 do truly stand out to me. The first one being The Bride Test by Helen Huan. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it obviously a 5 stars. Definitely one of my favourite romances now of all time. It's part of the Kiss Quotient series by Helen Huan, the first one being the Kiss Quotient and the last one being the Heart Principle. But The Bride Test definitely has to top the cake with being my favourite one of the Little Companion series. And this one follows Esme and Kai. Did I get that right? I did. I read this in February. I'm so proud of myself. And it's basically about Esme, who has autism and she doesn't really understand relationships as such. So she gets set up to travel back to the US from Vietnam to live with this guy called Kai, and at first they hate each other, but of course it's a romance, and a romance ensues, and it's just, I just really enjoyed this book, and I don't think it's raved about enough, because Book Talk is truly coming into itself, and all that's recommended is Colleen Hoover, and guys, you're missing out if you're sitting under a rock with this one. And the second book that I gave 5 stars and absolutely loved and will refer to time and time again is actually a non-fiction, and that is How to Fail by Elizabeth Day. I finally read this book after it being on my TBR for about 2 years, and it did not disappoint. I absolutely love this book. It's all just about life lessons, and I tabbed up a lot in this book because this book really spoke to me. Being in my mid-20s and just like really trying to navigate life as an adult, it's hard, and I feel your pain if you're going through the same sort of situation as me. It's a struggle. There's a lot to digest. I really wish they kind of taught you a lot of things about adulting in school, but they don't. But we have books to help us and make us feel seen, and Elizabeth Day just does just that, because This book is basically all about lots of different ways in her life that she's failed, but she's turned those failures into successes, and that you can look at negative things in your life and turn them into kind of the reason why you're who you are today. And it's just a really, really good non-fiction book about life and love and loss and just a lot of things, and I do really enjoy it. And I just, every now and again when I'm feeling a bit lost, I'll go to one of these tabs and I guarantee it, a quote that I've tabbed will lift me back up. The next thing that is my favourite of one of my favourites of this year is my little camera tripod. I just hit myself in the face. I got this after Yauk. I went to Yauk. I'll link the vlog up above and down below for you guys. But Rhiannon had this tripod and I've been wanting this tripod for ages, but I couldn't remember the life of me the brand. So I just never got it, but it's such a good kind of travel tripod, just mini, can chuck it in your bag. It's so secure and it can tilt and it do all these fun things. My camera battery is gonna die, this is not fun. I really, really, really enjoy this tripod and it's one of my favorites. I'm gonna quickly run through the last two so I can sign off this vlog. My third, fourth favorite of this year is I didn't get these when I went to Disneyland Paris. I really wanted them. These are beautiful, but my friend actually from work managed to grab me a pair when she went and I love them to pieces. They are so cute. Look at them. Ah! So yeah, definitely a favourite. Shame I didn't get to wear these actually in Disneyland Paris, but now I have an amazing memento of my time and my trip there, which is one of my favourites of the year. And the last thing I wanted to quickly mention as my favourites is actually my scrapbook. I'm so proud that I managed to continue doing this and filling this out. And just looking back, every so often I'm feeling a bit down, I'll just flip to a random page and I'm like, I've had some good moments this year, and it's just really, really nice to look back on. And I'm so proud of myself that I've managed to keep up with it. So that is my last favourite of the year so far. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year has in store for me. Like I said, some of these things that I'm looking forward to most, I'm so excited for, and I just can't wait to share with you all these things. I'm going to be vlogging in Disney World. I'm going to be vlogging my moving out process. There is a lot of good content coming. My camera cut me off because it died. But please bear with me while I find my feet in this like new lifestyle content angle as well. It's just finding my feet in life because a lot is about to change for me. And yes, I'm so excited, but it may mean a little bit of a bumpy road ahead of me. So I'm going to try and be as prepared as possible, but my overthinking brain will probably try and alter that, but it's fine. I really hope you enjoyed this kind of form of content, a little bit of a yearly reflection, some of my favourites so far of this year, and just, yeah, a lot of fun stuff I hope in this video. I hope you really guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up and subscribe down below to see future content from me. Yes, there'll be bookish videos. Yes, there'll be lifestyle videos, moving out vlogs. Walt Disney World vlogs will be coming probably at the beginning of next year, but you know, never too early to subscribe for those. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this channel goes, where I go in life, because I'm about to transition a lot. I have a feeling I'm about to change, I'm about to grow up, I'm about to be an official adult, and it's daunting, but I'm ready for the journey and I'm ready to take you guys along. So subscribe for more and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.